Good afternoon, Springfield. Start off with a Simpsons reference? Is that even a Simpsons reference? I haven't watched The Simpsons in a long fucking time. G'day. How the fuck are you? I hope you're bloody well. I hope you're doing so good. I hope that you are feeling comfortable. I assume everyone, or at least most, are watching from Melbourne. And if you are, I hope you're enjoying easing in to the colder months. They are fast approaching. And I have to tell you, as with every single fucking year, I get a little sad. And every single time you feel annoyed at yourself because you're like, what? I'm sad because it's a bit chilly? Are you fucking kidding me? Hey, I got a new microphone. Oh my god, he won't stop, can't stop. He can't be stopped. We've tried everything. He's destroying the city, he's terrorizing the town. He can't be stopped. With his crispy audio. I got this little lav mic from Cash Converters. They converted my cash into this little microphone. It was great. It was a stupid joke, a terrible joke. And it was only $30. So I said, yeah, I'll fucking take that. That sounds great. It's normally $70. That's a bargain. And I'm a big bargain boy. Anyway, how are you? Hope you're well. What is this? A podcast? This is In the Back of My Head podcast, episode 47. It's a weekly creative blog. 15 years too late into the blog sphere, talking about creativity and what I'm up to. A place to kind of get some thoughts out of the back of my head into a camera, rather than just knocking around inside my skull, which is where they're doing exactly no use to anybody. They're probably more useful in my head than in your ears, to be fair. As in, like, you didn't have to hear any of this. This is punishment for being a friend of mine, I suppose. Oh, to be a friend of mine. You lucky sons of bitches. At a poetry gig at the Brunswick Ballroom. Cool! Very exciting. That's exciting. I'm excited by it. Keen to do it again. But I tell you what. When I first went for the job, when I first said, yeah, I want to do that, I thought, easy. I can do that. And I can. But I didn't even think about the scale of that system. The size of that system. And that is perhaps foolish. I've spoken before, I think. I said this on the radio the other day, when Vibe Union was interviewed on the radio, on Triple R. And they asked for a piece of advice. One piece of advice you would give to creatives. And in that moment, I said, yeah, I got something. Something bestowed upon me by an old boss of mine. It really instilled into me that, like, when someone asks you to do a thing, you go, yeah, I can do that. Of course I can do that. Can you do a thing? Yeah. Can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. If they ask the question, if the question is, can I do it? Yes, I can. And then as soon as they turn their back, they're like, oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know how I said I can do the thing? That was a lie. I don't know how to do that thing. I'm going to work it out. But right now, that was maybe a dumb thing to do. And usually it works out. I would dare say 95% of the time. So I do like the advice of just saying yes to shit and panic later. Say yes now, panic later. It does run the risk of over-promising. If someone says, can you do a thing? You say yes, and then you can't do the thing. Ooh, egg on your face. Egg on everybody's faces involved. The whole project's fallen over. You said, yeah, I'm a structural engineer. Bridges burnt down. 700 people have perished. That's egg on your face. Don't be that guy. But then at the same time, in the world of creative stuff, why not? Why not? Throw your hat in the ring, see what happens. I do like the advice. I guess you have to have a certain level of knowledge of how bad can it go. And in this particular case, it can't go that badly, right? Sound will happen. People will be amplified. Voices will be made to be heard. Where before they were but a whisper, now they are a mighty roar. All thanks to you, the sound man. Or she. Yeah, it was daunting. It was really, really daunting. Standing at the desk. It's a brand new digital desk for a very big room with many channels. And a digital desk means that there is many buttons, folders, things to know. It's hard to know all of it. I feel like the contrast to the sides of my face here with this sun is maybe out of fucking control. Let's move on. It's very, very daunting. It's very, very daunting. Which was exciting, but there was very much a moment of like, oh fuck, I have bitten off more than I can chew. And the last thing you want is to be that guy who says that yes, they can do the thing, and then no, they can't do the fucking thing. That's embarrassing and ruins the project. But I think is maybe, however, the only way to actually get over those nerves when you want to do a thing like that. Because there's a fine line between knowing your limitations and telling them your limitations very clearly, and then on the other hand, overblowing your own limitations in your head, which I think we all do. We all think we're the worst at a thing. We think we're the worst that's ever been. And then finally, if you think that you are the best it's ever been, then you're even more likely to overpromise and underdeliver. Thinking about this in this kind of space, thinking about throwing yourself into something by saying, yeah, I can do that, of course, yeah, sure. And then shitting yourself later. And when you are confronted by a thing, maybe you even feel like you're out of your depth. But it actually brings to light more the part that I enjoy of that kind of work, of doing sound work. Or I see it in people who do repairs of what have you, repairing anything. That it is problem solving. It is developing a brain that is there to solve problems. It is the part of when I'm making models for tabletop games. That's the part I enjoy, I think, is actually the problem, the solving of the problem. I have a vision in my mind. How do I achieve that vision with popsicle sticks and foam? And then with sound, you can be the best. You can have the best ears in the business, which is important. Should have. Should develop as many tangible skills as possible. But the main thing is responding to a chaotic environment and solving problems on the fly. No time to waste. Make a decision right this second. I really like that space. I think perhaps, as I would say, a clinical overthinker, as we all are, finding a space where there's no time for that, where you are forced immediately, you must make a decision right now. that's very exciting to me. It's very fun, it's very freeing from your own brain. And it was the overthinking that got me into that position, that thought process of like, oh, I've bitten off more than I can chew. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Look at all these buttons, look at all these faders. I've never seen so many faders. It's just a scaled up version of what I'm used to. And in the world of like creative projects, the worst case scenario, it's not that bad. Shit could go a little bit awry. The project might fall flat on its face. It's not a life and death situation. Hey, there's something actually. I played a video game recently with buttons and mouses and storylines, characters, combat, dragons. I played The Witcher 2. Because I needed a game and I already owned it from years ago and I never played it. Because I bought it to play on a Mac computer, then it didn't fucking work, even though they said it would. So I never played it. Now I have played it. And I tell you what, I didn't like it. I loved it for probably the first third. First third, I was in. Second third, I was like, all right, this is still cool. This is still interesting. And then the last third, just dull, very dull. I could have chosen some different pathways through the story that might have helped some things. But yeah, it was a very political game. It's like Star Wars Episode 1. At a certain point, you're like, you do know that we're here to see lightsabers, you know, and pod races. We're here for pod racing. You teased us with that pod racing. Couldn't we just do a whole movie of pod racing? That would have been better. Then Senate hearings. Kids, we're gonna go see the new Star Wars. Star Wars Episode 1, Senate hearings. Oh wee, baby. Now, I like a bit of political intrigue. I like a political story, you know? That's a good thing. That's a good time. I enjoy those, but can be grueling. You gotta be in the right mood, and you gotta do it right. And I don't know, maybe The Witcher 2 did it right, but I was just like, who the fuck are any of these people? There are so many people, but I don't know who they are. The story did not grab me. And the thing is though, that I finished the game. I realized that I was pretty close to the end, so I thought I might as well bloody finish it. But, when do you stop? Right? I don't know, isn't it, it can be a... I realized when I was younger, it's a silly realization to have, but it was a moment of like, oh, I'm an adult now, is when I realized when you're out and you've ordered yourself a big meal, you've ordered yourself a palmy or a parma. That'll be some fighting in the comments. As if anyone comments on this show. Is it a palmy or a parma? I always said parma, then my partner, who is not a palmer, she is a full-grown woman. She is not cheese-covered chicken. All right, so get that out of your head. She said palmy. And I said palmy, it's a parma. And then the more I said it, the more I was like, nah, this actually makes a lot more sense to me. Parma, palmy. Palm you, palm me. Feels easier to say palmy to me. Palmy. Suits my nasally Aussie accent. I'm going down to the pub to get a palmy. Now the realization was that I don't have to finish it. So dumb. So stupid to... Of course you don't have to finish it. It's a pub meal. They're huge. Man, you go out into the sticks and you order yourself some cheese-covered chicken. Hey, can you take as much of the bottom, can you take all the crumbs from the bottom of the bag of your loaf of bread, cover that naked chicken breast in it, and then smother it in cheese and tomato sauce, call it a day. It's a bloody delicious time. There's no arguing about it. No arguments there. Regardless of what you call it, we all know it's the best thing on the fucking face of the planet. But when you go out to the sticks, they're huge. And I am but a small boy. And you also just don't need that much chicken. You don't need that much chicken. You don't need that much food. When you were eating to the point of pain, there was the feeling of like, I paid for it, so I gotta finish it. And especially as a kid, I think, you're like, well, I don't know the next time I'm gonna see a potato chip in my life. So I'm gonna eat all of these chips. I'm not gonna leave this plate with anything, because my parents might cut me off. I might not get a palmy. I might not get fish and chips. I might not get a burger ever again. This might be the end of it all, so I'm gonna fucking finish it. And then that realization when you're an adult, like, yeah, I might have spent $25 on this palmy, but you know what? I've had enough. I've had enough. And I'm gonna have a better night if I don't finish it. And I feel this with video games and movies. You feel like you failed, weirdly, you know? Like you've started watching a thing, you started playing a thing, and you're like, I'm this far in, I have to finish it. I have to finish it. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. Oh, but it gets good, does it? Maybe I don't care. With this game, was it worth playing? Was it worth finishing? I don't know. Stupid thing to worry about. But there's a sense of guilt, I feel. A sense of guilt for it. Maybe with the games, it's trying to get back to that curiosity as a child. The curiosity and the... They say that you have a worse attention, like kids don't have a good attention span. Maybe it's worse now? I don't know. I feel like kids can probably play 100 hours of Fortnite in a week and it doesn't matter. They're in it. That's cool. And I used to do that. Man, I used to do that shit. I used to play games. A single game for hundreds and hundreds of hours. Pour hundreds of hours into a game. And now, if we start getting to the 20-hour mark, the 30-hour mark, I'm like, Jesus Christ, can we wrap it up? Can we wrap it up, please? I am dreadfully bored. But I don't want to be. I want to have that attention span, that willingness, that... I think it's just that sense of time. It's just that sense of time. It's that sense of time of... How much have I got left? And not in a sense of death. Not in a sense of like, oh, I might die soon. None of that. But rather, how long now until I have to go back to work? How long now until I have to do a thing? How long now until the next thing? And so time is precious, and I'm gonna make sure I'm watching the best content that I can in that time. I'm gonna make sure I'm playing the best game in that time. But that just takes it out of you. That takes you out of it. It makes it hard to then immerse yourself, enjoy that content, enjoy that video game. To just give yourself to that, like, yeah, I am going to throw as many hours as it takes into this thing because I want to enjoy my life. That's no crime. It's no crime at all. But I actually might wrap it up there. This is the end of the podcast. I'll see you next time on In the Back of My Head podcast with me. I can see you later.